Nik Collection, which is essentially a Photoshop add-on or plugin. It cost £90, and I contemplated buying it for a really, really long time because I didn't have much money. But I can tell you now that I think it's so worth it. The main appeal for me was it has part of it just dedicated to film effects, and I love film more than anything. But in certain occasions, such as wedding photography, it's not very convenient to shoot in film. So that was why essentially I went for this program, or I bought it. So you can get to it via this thing, which comes up automatically. I tend to exit it because it gets in the way. I don't like the hovery part. So then you can get to all the Nik collections via here. And so I'm just gonna give you a little tour. I chose this picture of a cat I took. It's massively heavy. It slows down my computer so much. I can't have like any other things open, and it takes about 5 minutes to save each image that I edit. So I mean, I was saying how heavy it was, and my computer jammed. So this just gives you a little sense of the analog effects, which is one of my favorite ones and the one I use most probably. It took me a while to realize that you can actually select a bunch of cameras. I really like the wet plate ones. I think they're really nice. So yeah, like I was saying, it's a super heavy program. What I love about the analog effects is, okay, so say I select this, it's going to take a while. But you can basically edit every single aspect of the thing. So you can change the texture, the film type, the dust and scratches, you can remove them, you can add a vignette. It's super versatile, and really you can be so nitpicky about every aspect of it. It's really nice. So you can get the exact look you want. So yeah, like I was saying, you can, whenever it loads, you can deselect or select in scratches, you can change them. I should probably stop fiddling with it like this. So yeah, like I said, it's really cool. You can fiddle with the bokeh, which is basically the vignette and stuff. It's really, really nice. Yeah, all sorts. You can change the wet plate style and its strength as well, which is cool, especially when with other film types and stuff. You can add light leaks, which I love, but you can also choose the strength of the light leak. So yeah, it's quite cool. Yeah, you can fiddle with the film types, which is really nice. Like, it has a completely different effect depending on the film. There's loads of them, some are black and white. So it's really, really cool. The toy camera ones are also really nice, and the motion, they're all really nice, but I really like the double exposure. You can really fiddle with this, and sometimes it's really artistic, the effect, and you can fiddle with where it takes the double exposure from. I also really like the vintage cameras because these all have like a colour like overlay. Some of them have really nice colours that get added. What's also really cool is when you save, it just saves it as, like on Photoshop, as like a exact copy, another layer basically. So then you can reduce the opacity and reduce the effects as well. So I love the light leaks so much. It's really nice that you can choose the strength of this, and they have quite a few. Some of them are really nice and make a really nice color cast, is what I was thinking of. So this is really cool. Toy camera. So there's loads of these, but you can also, if you really like how it, oh, my thing's the wrong size, but basically you can if you like everything about how you've like the effects you've created, you can save it. And so I have one that I really liked, and I saved it there. But I think the buttons, the buttons down there, and I can't show you where it is. But basically, you can do that, which is really, really nice. And you can also choose where the light leak is. It's so versatile. When you press save, on my computer, it has about 2 GB of RAM, but it literally takes like 10 minutes. So I'm very choosy about which pictures I choose to run through this program. Okay, so that's the analog effects. So if I open up the other one I use a lot, they have one specifically for black and white, which is very nice, but I don't actually. It's just silver effects. I don't use that very much. I also quite often use Efex Pro, which is again another color editor. It was the main reason I bought this program. It's because the Photoshop effects are really naff. But I do find that even on this color effects, there are some quite naff effects, but it's so much better than the Photoshop built-in ones. Whenever this loads, it should be a while. Really fast, so it's not very problematic. What I really like about this is they sort it into kind of relevant categories. So say you were shooting landscapes, you can see all the ones they recommend for landscapes. It's quite nice, especially the portraiture ones, and the ones ready for wedding, except some of them I think are way tacky, but like beach photos, you wouldn't really be able to tell because it's not a portrait, but I think it looks gross. It's also really easy to add favorites by just, yeah, you know, so I was on about you can press save recipe if you fiddle with it and you like it, and then you can find those, which is really, really a nice feature. So these are some of my favorites and the ones I use most. Color stylize is quite nice. It kind of adds a tint in whatever color you select, which is quite cool. I like this one a lot. Also, this is one of my favorites. It's got loads of film kinds. I always remove the vignette because I think it looks tacky, personally. But it's like having options to a bunch of Photoshop curves really quickly and really easily, and some of them look really nice. There's a few of those. I personally think vintage film effects, so you've got quite a few, but some of them aren't as nice. But again, a lot of these have several film things, and there's nostalgic, which some of these I think are a bit too harsh. But then you could always apply it and then reduce the opacity of the layer. And modern, but yeah, these film effects I quite like. Again, you can. I think these are quite subtle. The changes between these films. But yeah. So yeah, those are my favorites. I personally really only use these two and the black and white one occasionally. I'm not much for HDR or sharpening, so so yeah, this is my Nik Collection review. I personally, despite the fact it's a super heavy program, would really recommend you go for it if you're considering it. It's really, really nice in terms of color effects and really, yeah, broadens your horizons. I also actually opened up some images that I've run through it. Some of them, it might not be your cup of tea, but it gives you a nice feel for how it works. These cut of images had really horrible colors in, so I did a lot of light leaks and stuff like that, but it just